probably with no record being maintained for comparison between the supplier invoice and the amount fuel actually drawn. In the circumstances, the accuracy
You said they produced a sample of a card for withdrawing the fuel. Did you say that? Because what is on 3A, it's only the internal memo.
through the chair.
I have it here.
3A.
Yeah, what I can see is only the internal memo signed by Solomon Obiero. Now, if I may follow up, Governor, apart from the internal memo, you have something like a kind of card for each vehicle, because that could be assisting you to control the usage of fuel, to go to the petrol station to fuel your vehicle. Do you have anything like that?
Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, just a minute, Governor. Senator Sifuna.
Maybe she can take both together. Governor, from your response, you're basically telling us that county government vehicles are fueled on a phone call, or how is it done? Just explain to us. Because you're saying, the auditor is saying the instructions to draw fuel were given verbally. And I heard you saying that there were designated people who make those phone calls, or who have to go physically to those petrol stations and essentially say, Jaza hii 200, or something like that. So just clarify for me what the process is there, and then how we can be able to know that these people are authorized to give that.
Senator Chirake.
Chair, I've seen a number of being issued by, I think, us petrol station. So the governor should give us, because I've seen a number are on us petrol station, the pre-qualification process, or how many companies are supposed to supply fuel. And Senator Nairobi has said whether there is a specific issuance of card. And Chair, with your indulgence, on the previous question on Kendube, I have seen in the response of the governor, he has only accounted for 10 million against 21 million. So I'm requesting with your indulgence, if we dispense of this matter, she can go back, because from her response, and like what, she can only account for 10 million against 21 million for the Kendube ward. So I wanted you to note so that we can go back. Thank you. I yield back, Chair.
Just for order, Chair. In 3A, I'm not able to see the separate file.
Blank,
maybe
actually.
The governor can point us to that separate file. Oh, separate. Oh, that is the one. Okay, okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Governor, you may. So sorry, Senator Wambua.
So, Chair, mine would just be maybe a simple one on the invoices. Governor, the invoices that I'm seeing from Appendix 3A, all of them, actually I think without exception, are from a single service provider or contractor or petrol station. I don't know, maybe this is the only one that supplies fuel to vehicles in the county government of Homa Bay. You just explain that, that's fine.
Okay, it would be useful, even as you respond, to also take us through just explain what Appendix 3A means, because I'm seeing some documents that are either ineligible or blank. But you can respond to the earlier questions raised by the senators.
Thank you, Chair. What we are providing in Appendix 3A in response to the auditor's question on how the fuel process happens is we are providing the extracts of departmental fuel register extracts, detailed orders, which is what you use to go and fuel, not via a phone call, work ticket, which the drivers provide, and fuel receipts. So what we have provided here is evidence that there is a process, and we provided them department by department. Not all of them, but extracts of them, that there is a process that each department has for purposes of acquiring fuel. On the issue of the invoices, yes, there is invoices from the Haas Petroleum, there are invoices from Zamzam petrol station, there are invoices from Shell. These are the petrol stations that are predominantly in Homa Bay. So it is not a single, petrol station. CC Finance, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, and as CC Finance response, you probably want to even take a sample, because I can see the first placeholder here is education, and then just help us understand what those pages with regards to education, what you're trying to say, and how it confirms the process. CC?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, with respect to education, on the first page, we have the voucher number, the account details, the item description, that is the product that we are consuming from the particular petrol station. Chair, it indicates the payee, which is the person giving us the product, and the payment date and amount. And that is the Department of Education. Chair, the second page, just under the Department of Education, we have a payment voucher, which has now been drawn in favor of Haas Petroleum, who having given us a supply of fuel, oil, and lubricants.
CC, the concern was initiation.
Yes.
The concern was initiation. So PV comes at the end.
Thank you.
The receipts come at the end. Can you demonstrate that the initiation was not verbal, as the auditor says?
Thank you, Chair. If we go to still under education, the first detail order in favor of Haas Petroleum, this detail order is drawn from the department, and the person that is going to draw fuel needs to go.
Which is a detailed order? It's on which?
Chair, after the payment voucher.
How many pages after?
Payment voucher are 2 pages, so the third page.
Okay, so you can explain that.
So the document that authorizes one to draw fuel from the petrol station is a detail order. This detail order is developed from the department, and it's duly approved to enable one to go, to enable a driver to go draw fuel from the petrol station.
Help me understand, CEC, because I can see that detail order you're speaking of. Is it the number 3117268?
Yes, Senator.
How do I know which vehicle is going to be fueled?
Chair, the vehicle that is going to fuel
from that document of yours?
First, the LPO number that is referenced,
yes.
43 81 567, will be indicating, when we go to that, we'll be indicating a particular vehicle, but also on the invoice, the vehicle that has fueled, the vehicle registration number is...
We are at initiation.
Yes, we are still at...
We just want to understand the process. Eh?
Yeah.
this detail order, how do I know it is for 43 CG 036A?
Chair, it is supposed to be on, it is on the detail order actually, but where the stamp is for the Department of Education, you can see a 43 somewhere. Unfortunately, it is not very clear, but that 43 is exposed with the invoice down here, 43 CG 036A. Yes.
Is there any other detail order which is clearer, so that we are not hypothesizing that it's supposed to be where the stamp is?
In fact, you have put the stamp on all those invoices, you have put the stamp where we're supposed to see the vehicle number. Is it a coincidence?
Maybe we can check the second one.
And even, Chair, the way the payment voucher has been written, it's less because even on the words they have just written 200. I don't know, but they only in numbers they have written 200,000, but in writing is 200. We don't know whether it's 200,000 or 200 in payment. So even if you look at the payment voucher CC, and you are the ones who write, this is laziness. The one on after the third, after even the first one, in your separate document.
Okay. Is there any order that you can refer to that?
Yes, Chair.
Can you use this one to explain to me? Yes. 3117278. Voucher, I think is the last detail order. Before Blue Economy. Before Blue Economy. So that we understand the process.
So, thank you, Honorable Senator. Thank you, Chair. So, 43 CG 253A is on the detail order. Detail order number 3117278. The vehicle is drawing diesel. The date that the vehicle has gone to draw. The name of the vendor. And the amount of fuel that is drawn in liters. After that detail order, we have an invoice that the vendor gives, which will go to the file.
What's the amount on the invoice?
70 liters.
The amount
of money.
This is supposed to be 11,000.
But it says 13,288. But it is wrapped there, 11,627, even it says 700 liters.
70.
Sorry, Chair.
From the invoice.
Thank you, Chair, Honorable Senator. These things are handwritten.
You see, can you breathe in and out so that you can answer properly? You are confusing us.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. The 13,288 is the value of the fuel drawn for 70 liters at a cost of 166.
See, Chair, with your permission, yeah. Can I give you my copy? Because I think maybe you have a clearer copy for us to follow what you're saying. Because on the face of that invoice, and Governor, you can just look at it. There's a problem with that invoice. Where are you reading? Because mine actually, from where I sit, it says 700 liters. It has been, what is it called? Amended. The total amount there, I can't even make out what this figure is, Chair. The only figure that is clear here is 13,288 in the middle of the invoice. But at the bottom there it says total, CC. Do you have a better copy than mine?
Honorable Chair and Senator, we have, I think, the same copy, I believe. And the fuel drawn from the detail order is 70 liters. This invoice could have not been 700 because from the detail order it is indicated 70 liters. So the service provider can only give us a maximum.
So, Chair.
CC, don't defend the indefensible. There's a problem with this invoice, and the more you try to explain it, the more questions you're going to get. There's obviously a problem here. So
let us stick to your 70 liters. CC. Yeah. The unit cost is what? From your record, it's 166.1. Is it?
6.1 times.
Zero.
Yes, yes.
Read,
yes,
read the unit cost for me.
The unit cost is 166.1.
Now multiply 166.1 by 70. What do you get?
We get, that will give us 166.1
Times 70.
70.
What do you get?
166.
Just read. I mean, what you get is what you get, you know. 166.1 times 70.
11,000. 166.1 times 70. 11,627.
What is your figure in the invoice?
13,288.
What do you get the variance?
Chair, what I can see from the face of this invoice, there is a rubbing there, so it's 11,627 on the end, but then 13,288 in the middle. So there is obviously a discrepancy between what is at the end column and in the middle of the invoice. So I think there is a discrepancy on that invoice. But Chair, coming back to the process, which was the question, and I see that discrepancy between the two figures. And I think the vendor who gave the invoice made that error, and it was attached here right from the vendor without them correcting it. But in terms of the process of getting fuel and in terms of coming back to what the auditor had raised, the fuel is not collected by phone call. It is collected through a detailed order that is given to the vendor by the department. The detailed order, I think earlier what Senator Sifuna had asked, what on that detailed order shows the car that is going to collect the fuel. I think the detailed order has the space for the number plate of the car and the liters and the department that is collecting the fuel. Thank you, Chair, and we have noted that error in the invoice.
Senator Dulo.
Governor, Governor, the query is very clear. There is no proper mechanisms in place in controlling the usage of fuel, and that is very clear. And I don't actually accept or allow the CEC and the staff to mislead you. Because if you look at the invoice that attached from us, even towards the end of the documents, or rather the invoices to trade, they're not even very clear, you see? So if your document is very clear and transparent, the invoice should be also very clear, because they are not clear, those invoices. Again, most of the listing that is done for the vehicles and the ones that are drawn, they are handwritten. We know very well anything handwritten can be changed anytime. So I think you need to look into this and see how you can put proper control mechanisms in place that can assist you in drawing fuel, or also accounting for fuel consumption within the county. I thank you, Chair.
Chair, for me, I think I still need to hear from the Auditor General, because you are the one who has raised this query. Where did you experience these orders that were being made verbally? Number two, Governor, this Appendix 3A is supposed to explain to us. For instance, I've seen what your team has tried to do, is that there's a detailed order that is supposed to correspond with an invoice. Yeah, but it is very, very confusing, Governor. This one should actually raise the alarm with you, that your team is trying to be clever with us. And you see, we get very upset when we see that. If it is possible, CEC, I just want to demonstrate one final thing. That there is a detail order number 3117283. I don't know if you can find it. And unfortunately, this time round, Governor, you did not paginate your document, so we have to find it slowly. 3117283. Are we together? Yeah. First of all, Governor, just look at that detail order. Just look at it the way it looks. First, you notice the famous stamp is not on this one. We were told a story of a stamp that was covering up the number of the vehicle. So, if you look at the quantity there, what figure is that? I can see the word petrol, CEC. What is the figure on that detail order? The amount of fuel that is going to be sourced. Can you see it from your copy? That's a 5. Well, I can make it out on mine. What is the registration number of that vehicle?
43 CG 247A.
Where is that 4 and 7 coming from? Because my copy doesn't have any of that.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. I think
you are reading the invoice. You're not reading the order.
We have 43 CG 247, except at the time of probably making a copy for this file, the 7 is missing, but it seems cut. It's evidently that it is cut out of just a photocopy place error. My apologies.
Okay, so whose signature is that? Because all the others have been seeing, at least there is a reason, there's somebody who's being quoted there, HB Education or something like that. Whose signature is that one on 3117283?
This is the signature of the person from the Department of Education authorized to draw, to approve fuel withdrawal.
How many do you have in that department? How many people are authorized to do this document?
I think we have a maximum of 2 because 1 can be out of office per department.
So on this 3117283, who is the person who signed? Can you tell?
I would love to consult my colleague from the Department of Education.
Finally, what is the date on that 3117283?
22nd of May, 2025.
Where is the 5? Again, it was left out.
No, it's not left out, Senator, but I think it's just to do with the copies that were made, being that the detail order document, the color is yellow. When you make many copies, such errors are bound to occur when you make many copies.
Okay, we are taking a lot of time on this matter. It's 42 million out of almost 13 billion expenditure for this year. And when you look at the time, because Governor, what was the reason for attaching the internal memo and the letter by the CEC dated 2nd of February 2026? The reason why you're having a problem with the senators is your response to indicate that everything is okay. They are struggling to show you where the gaps are. And I can see your officers did a memo recommending or saying administrative action shall be taken and reminding all officers of the procedures. If you would have confined yourself to the measures you are taking to improve the process, that would have been good enough. But if the position is that the process is perfect, then you're going to get a lot of queries on the substance before us. So, if it's a perfect exercise, then I'll allow my senators to ask questions. But if it's work in progress and that is your submission, then we can keep some things in view. But let me hear from Senator Cherargei first.
No, Chair, looking at even blue economy, the entire invoices that has been provided by one of the petrol stations, I think, is not readable. So, and then looking at the discrepancy, Governor, of this amount, it might look small. But how many Kenyans can get 2,000 per day? So it is, Chair, it looks like this thing was manufactured, unless proven otherwise. And in fact, I don't know who is Robert Nyasuna. This Robert Nyasuna, I thought it's somebody who works for the county. And Governor, they must do due diligence, because these are very critical. So, Governor, maybe you would consider striking out these invoices which are not readable until you get so that it can form basis of answering this question.
Okay, members, to ensure that we are not bogged down as in an audit, because the facts as presented indicate there's a problem.
Yeah, finally,
unless the governor disputes.
Just finally for me, I am not convinced when the CEC says there is only 2 people designated. Because just from the sample of those same documents, if you just look at the signatures from 311, 72, 83 to 82 to 78, those are at least 3 distinct signatures, CEC. So my expectation, Governor, would be to see a document of designation saying in this department, Sifuna is authorized to issue these detailed orders so that we can be able to compare. From my reading here, there is more than one person signing these documents. It's creating a problem, Chair.
Okay, Governor.
Chairman, I wanted to concur with you that the reason why we appended the memos and the administrative action is because of continuous improvement of the process, including the testing of the CAD system or any other system that can do. What we wanted to demonstrate by these documents was that there is a process that is not necessarily verbal. There is a detailed order and an invoicing process, but it is not a perfect process. It is a work in progress, and that is why the CEC has written a memo reminding the officers that they must adhere to the strict process in the management of fuel.
So members, this is a matter that, because the in-year audit, I think, is beginning, Auditor General, you must also be more rigorous, because you had advised us earlier that the matter is resolved, but upon testing, you find that there are variances. This is a matter that you must remain open, and you must adequately look at in the next cycle of audits. Senator Muruma.
Chair, maybe because the auditor has marked it as addressed, and we need to agree with him to resolve it because of the part of justification why the documents are not given during the time of audit. Maybe the CEC, I think, who is the person supposed to give the documents, can in 1 or 2 sentences tell us where the documents were, if they are there, why they're not given, and then
okay, I think that warrants a very brief answer. I'm very, very conscious of the time.
Thank you, Senator. Appendix 3B. Appendix 3B. We've taken administrative action on the officers that didn't avail the documents to the auditor on time.
Yeah.
Yes, 3B, administrative action. So it's 3B. 3B.
The question asked is different from the answer you are giving, because the senators asked where were the documents at the time of audit and why were they not produced, because administrative action is taken at the tail end. But since we have agreed that this is a matter that remains open, it's not resolved as indicated by the Auditor General, we'll keep the matter in view and ask the Auditor General to do a more thorough analysis. But then again, Governor, internally, you have seen some of the weaknesses in terms of record